Hi, my name is Mia and welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to my cozy little reading nook, my bedroom. As the title already shows, today I want to talk about books that I found around my neighborhood in free little libraries, and I just think they're the coolest things, really. Like, ever since moving back to the US, I have been just mind blown by the amount of free little libraries in this city and my neighborhood alone. Like, every time we go on walks, I find a new little library to take a look into, and I just think it's so beautiful. And yeah, if you don't know where to start looking, then there's actually a website. It's called freelittlelibrary.org. I'll link it for you down below, but I'm not affiliated with them. They don't know I'm making this video. I just think it is such a great cause. I think that books should be more accessible to everyone. And yeah, these free little libraries are just such a great way to bring communities together and get people reading more. Especially since books have gotten so expensive these days. Like, every time I go to a bookstore and I pick a book up, it's always around $20, even paperbacks these days, which, don't get me wrong, authors do an amazing job and they should get paid for it. I just think that it excludes a lot of people from having access to these books. I think that it is very discriminating to people with lower incomes, and of course there's always public libraries, but not everyone will be able to get to them as well. So these little neighborhood libraries are, in my opinion, just such a beautiful thing, and I'm really happy with the books that I've found so far. Let me show you. I have already found 7 books in the last month alone. Now, I haven't really read them yet. I've kind of been collecting them, putting them aside for this video, but I cannot wait to get into these. Some of them I've heard of already, some of them are completely new to me and I just saw them and they looked interesting, which I think that's another really great point for these free little libraries, is that you have just a small selection of books, a lot of the time some that you might have never heard of. So yeah, you can get into new reading rather than go into like a huge bookstore. You just have millions and millions of books that are just hard to browse through. But yeah, and also I'm very surprised by the condition in which all these are in. You can already kind of tell that they mostly look to be in great shape. Some of them look like they've never even been read before. Like, there's no creases in the spine, barely any damage to the pages. Others, of course, have a little more wear and tear, but nothing out of the ordinary. There's some markings in the book here as well sometimes, but it is definitely still readable. And I like buying books secondhand anyways whenever I can. I just think that we are all responsible to minimize our environmental footprint, and buying things secondhand or trading books like this is a great way to do that. And yeah, I mean, everyone's different, but I personally don't like holding on to every book that I read anyways. I like to give the books away or sell them once I'm done reading them, unless they have like really high emotional value to me, or I know I'm gonna want to read them again in the future. But yeah, in any other case, I like to just pass them on to other people and spread the joy of reading those books. But yeah, also don't think that these free little libraries are just full of like old books that you're never gonna want to read, because that is not true. Like, for example, this book I found, again, it looks brand new. It looks like nobody's ever read a single page of this, but this one just came out earlier this year. So yeah, also some very recent books, some very popular books as well, like Cloud Cuckoo Land. I found some more classics like The Golden Compass, and I also found Unbroken, which I have actually read before, so I'm probably gonna skip this now, but my husband has never read it and I think it's an amazing book to read, and he really looks up to Louise Zamperini, who this book is about. So yeah, I picked this up for him. Can't wait for him to read it. I think it's a great book, so I recommend if you're interested in World War II stories. As it says here, resilience and redemption. About the war hero Louise Zamperini and his life story. I also picked up this book. It's called Hours. I have never heard of it before, but it just sounds very, very interesting. I'll talk more about every book in detail once I get to reading them in the vlog section later. Then I found The Sentence, also just a very interesting sounding book. Again, looks brand new, like no one's ever touched it. Yeah, and actually this morning I managed to pick up The Four Winds, which is another book I have never heard about, but it just sounded very interesting, so I can't wait to dig into this book as well. So yeah, I think that was a long enough intro, so yeah, now it's up to me to decide which book to start with, and I'll take you along my reading journey and yeah, tell you what I think of these books, and hopefully inspire you to also either find or start a free little library and yeah, just keep books rotating. Alright, so I just finished the first book, The Secret Lives of Booksellers and Librarians, and yeah, it was a very cute little book, definitely a book for book lovers, but it wasn't my favorite. It was also not a bad book. I would give it around a 3.5 out of 5 stars, because I think there's a lot of things that could have been done a lot better in here, like, for example, the state selection where people are from was quite narrow. Most of them were from either Florida or New York. Some from the Midwest, some from the West Coast as well, but yeah, mainly just those two states, which I thought was kind of a missed opportunity. I feel like it would have been cool to hear from people from all 50 states, but that's just me, maybe. And also I thought that some of the topics were very repetitive, like besides people talking about their love of books and their love of recommending books to others, stories that came up over and over again were how COVID impacted the business, and also book bans, which of course are big topics, but yeah, in my opinion it got a bit old once like 20 different people wrote about it in here. Other than that, I thought it was kind of cool that these people also mention authors and book titles, so that might be a great way to, yeah, find some more reads for you, some more authors to check out. And speaking of that, this book actually mentions The Four Winds, which I had on my list for this video too, so I guess I'm going to read that next. I just thought it was a funny coincidence and a great, yeah, segue to the next book. Alright, I have made it through the second book of this video. I read The Four Winds, and what a book this was. It was just heart-wrenching, it was emotional all the way through. It follows the life of a woman and her family during the Great Depression and the Dust Bowl in rural Texas, and yeah, it just mentions all the hardships that come along with that period of time. And yeah, the book really kept me on my toes, like basically all the way to the end. The way that characters and emotions were described just, yeah, really made me feel for them, made me feel as if I was them at times. And yeah, really not a lot of happy moments in this book, which made it very realistic, but also just really, really tough to get through at times. Nevertheless, I thought it was amazingly written. Definitely a 4.5 out of 5 star read for me. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It made me appreciate all the big things and all the little things day to day that we get to enjoy, that, yeah, people back then didn't have. People back then barely had anything to live off of. And yeah, this book really makes you see that and makes you dive into a different time. So yeah, a very good book. And probably the last book for this video, because it took me a week to get through those 2 books since it's been a super busy week. We were in the process of moving. Our furniture just got delivered. So yeah, we were pretty busy, so not that much time for reading, but I will get to those other books in the upcoming days and weeks, so definitely stay tuned, subscribe to my channel so you don't miss my reviews of all those other books that I found in the little libraries. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave me a like I said, subscribe to come along for the reading journey, and I hope you have an amazing day, and I'll see you next time. Bye.